Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the final. Can you still hear the music?
I
Okay.
can't.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Final Siren podcast. Noah, and today I'm here with Faraz. Lachlan's actually not here today. He's had some other stuff he's had to do, so it will just be us two today. We apologise. I was experiencing technical difficulties there at the start. I could hear my own voice, but now everything seems to be working fine. We'll quickly head into this preview of what will be such a brilliant game. Faraz, you've actually brought it to my attention that there'll be a lot of wet weather footy played tonight. So would you like to start us off and talking about how the weather will affect this game?
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit interesting because I'm sort of like hearing that this gives an advantage to Parramatta, but then you've got arguably the best kicker in the game in Nathan Cleary. So I think it just creates more doubt and uncertainty on like who really will step up from the conditions tonight. Obviously, then you can expect if it's wet weather footy, you can expect a lot of like defense involved. Not much points. There'll be a bit of sloppiness, but as you know, in finals, it's not easy to score tries.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm not even sure who the wet weather really advantages here. I mean, I know Parramatta can play some really good wet weather footy, but I know Penrith are good in all conditions. So I think the kickers will need to be on for either team, depending on who wants to win and who wants to get to that preliminary final. Speaking of which, we'll quickly touch on that. The winners tonight will go to a preliminary final straight to week 3 and have a chance. If they win that week 3 game, they'll go to the grand final. How big is this on the competition? With either team winning, who do you reckon is more likely to go to the preliminary final?
I just want to like touch on something interesting. If let's say Penrith lose tonight and Melbourne get the victory tomorrow over Canberra, that's set up for a semi-final between Penrith and Melbourne in Penrith. So you just never know if Penrith lose tonight and Melbourne get the victory, which is a possible chance. You never know because like you can't necessarily rule out the Storm at any cost. You can write them off at your own peril, but trust me, every time you write them off, they just come back and like prove us wrong. So a Panthers Storm semi-final. I mean, as neutrals would love to see that, so one of them would go bye-bye. But I think right now, according to my team, I've got Penrith, so I think they're most likely to go to the prelim. But you can't rule out Parramatta. They've beaten the Panthers twice, so if they win, this is arguably their biggest game in their history so far. They haven't won the comp for 36 years now. This is probably their last chance in a while. So if they win, they get a home prelim. Honestly, for me, if Parramatta win tonight, they're through to the grand final for me.
That's a big call. I think same for me. I think whoever wins this game probably goes straight to the grand final. In my opinion, I think it's really telling because the winner of this obviously goes to the prelim, but the loser of this will either versus Storm or Raiders week 2 of finals. I'm just saying because I'm just going to say if Storm win this and say Para lose, it's a Para versus Storm week 2 finals, which Para always have the winner of Melbourne. If Panthers lose, it's a Panthers versus Storm week 2 of finals. So either way, whoever loses this game, and if Melbourne win, it's going to be a great game week 2. You already know that much. But
you know what's funny as well? It's funny how everyone's giving Canberra a chance tomorrow, but we don't want Canberra to go through because it's like we've got them against Penrith. Like I don't think anyone would give Canberra a chance. So it's a bit crazy that we think they can beat Melbourne, but they probably won't beat the Panthers. The Storm will be much of a challenge. So that's how this final series works. There's a lot of uncertainty, but yeah, look, I'm hoping for a good game tonight.
Definitely. We'll quickly go into the key matchup of tonight. Nathan Cleary, he's back. He's been rested for a bit. Not rested, but he's been out for a bit due to that suspension, lengthy suspension. Against Mitchell Moses, this should be a cracking matchup. What are your thoughts on this matchup before we go into the stats?
I mean, he may have played less games this year, but he's forced out 15 dropouts. He's had 14 try assists, 12 line breaks. He's led to Penrith to 12 victories out of 14 games, I assume. So, look, no matter how long he's been out of action, you just can never rule out Nathan Cleary. And a lot of people saying that he'll come back a bit rusty and like he won't be necessarily the same. I think that's all bullshit. I think he'll have a cracking game tonight. I think no matter what it is, but I think Nathan Cleary is the best halfback in the game. I think he can adapt anywhere.
Yeah, well said. Speaking of the stats, we'll quickly go into them. Nathan Cleary's 2022 stats: 14 games, 455.2 average kick meters per game, 15 forced dropouts, 14 try assists, and 84.7% goal kicking rate, which is pretty phenomenal considering, even those try assists and forced dropouts, considering the amount of games he's been out, compared to Moses, who has 22 games, 413.6 average kick meters, 16 forced dropouts, 22 try assists, and 77.9% goal kicking rate. Both these guys in brilliant form this year. Really, this matchup could go either way. I think it's just whoever plays the wet weather better for tonight. But yeah, who do you think comes out on top in this matchup?
This is a hard matchup to predict. Like you said, it can go either way. And that's why I also think that the forward pack will also have its part to play. I think whichever forward pack can get the players up marching onto halfway the field, if they can get it's a good field position, get like the two halves into play, just never know. But that's what I said. The forward pack is the main matchup today.
Definitely. I agree with that. Well said. Yeah, I think I probably have Cleary winning the matchup. But I think the forward packs are two brilliant forward packs, and probably I'd argue it's the two best forward packs in the comp currently. I mean, I'd like to be.
Who would you say has the better forward pack when you compare head to head? Who would you say has the better forward pack?
Oh, that's a really hard one.
Because there are people like Sean Lane and all that. They're playing career best footy right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really hard. I think on form, I'd say Para, actually. I'm really big on Para's forward pack. I reckon they have they have quite a few young forwards coming up in the system as well. But yeah, I'd definitely say Para. Well, not definitely, but I'd have to say Para for now. But Penrith's forward pack isn't any slouches either. But what would you think? Who do you reckon has a better forward pack?
It's so tough. It's like when you just go head to head, it's like it's such a flip of a coin. Like you've got bloody James Fisher-Harris coming up against Junior Paul. I mean, how can you split that matchup? Then you've got Leota versus RCG, and then you've got Papali'i versus Liam Martin, Ryan Madison versus Isaiah Yeo. It's so hard to like split them up. That's what I mean. Like whichever forward pack can step up, I think the halves will have a better game.
Our mate Lachlan has actually said in the chat, and I completely agree with this: Panthers more consistent, Para more talented. I agree with that.
Well, I can sort of relate it to like I'm not trying to be Broncos centered here, but like Brisbane have always known about being like a big forward pack. So when like even back then when you have the likes of Payne Haas, David Fifita and all that, on paper that is probably like the best forward pack you can have. But what's the use of calling it the best if it's not producing results?
Definitely. But yeah, I think Panthers are definitely more consistent forward pack wise. But yeah, it'll be a very good matchup to see. And I can't wait to see Nathan Cleary versus Mitchell Moses. I can't wait to see the battle of the forward packs. That's just that's got me going and it's got me up and ready for this game.
I'm also like keen to see Brown and Jaron Luai. What parts do they play today?
Oh, definitely. That's another like there's so many key matchups that you can look at this game. Like Edwards and Gutherson, they're both hitting form at the right. Well, Edwards is being in form.
That's another one.
Yeah, exactly. Luai versus Brown, like you said, Cleary versus Moses, what we've said is the best. And practically anyone the forward pack you can put up there. The only ones that probably don't hold a candle to each other are like I think Para's outside backs aren't as good as Penrith's.
The only word for me about Parramatta is their bench. I think when you look at it, I've got nothing against Jacob Arthur, but in a finals game, I just don't know what Jacob Arthur's going to do. Like last week, when Jacob Arthur entered the field, it was like more like, what the hell is this guy even doing? You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. I'll quickly go through the benches for each team. For Penrith, you've got a bench of Mitch Kenny, Scott Sorensen, Spencer Leniu, and Jamin Salmon. That's a reasonably strong bench. Jamin Salmon at number 17, he's actually a 5'8", but I don't know what role he'll come on to play, but I'm not, bit of a weird one for me. I would have had someone else on the bench, like maybe Matty Eisenhuth or I don't know, someone else. I don't think that's the go. But and for Para, Makahesi Makatoa, Jake Arthur, Oregon Kafusi, and Murata Nikore. I'm pretty sure Makatoa is I think he's a lock, but maybe plays more dummy half, but comes on.
He's
a lot.
actually a prop. So
Oh,
he's
is he a prop?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's not. Well, in my opinion, not a very big prop. Then,
Yeah.
But Jake Arthur, I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot better. Like Nathan Brown is on the.
Even
I think
someone like
Nathan
Bryce
Brown's a really
Cartwright.
solid
Even
player.
someone like Bryce Cartwright, who's versatile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very true. And they also have like a young kid coming through who's probably going to be replacing Isaiah Papali'i next year. I think called I think it's Rye or Ty Rodwell or something. Apparently, he's he's very talented. I've heard, and I'd be getting your younger players in. But we'll quickly move on to our tips and margins and anytime try scorers. Would you like to start with this for us?
Oh, I've been so back and forth on this. I told you this before this year I've got Parramatta probably all week. Then I've got Penrith. Then I've got Parramatta. Honestly, I'm gonna flip a coin. I flipped the coin. I've got Penrith. There's nothing much in it. It's not every day that you tip Penrith and you're not confident of them winning, but I just don't know. But I feel in a finals game where it matters, I think Cleary will step up. I think the forward pack will do their job. I think if their forward pack can just do half the job, let Cleary into the game. I think Panthers at home. I think with that home crowd advantage, I'm going to go Penrith by 10. I think they'll win convincingly, but not by a big margin. But it won't be they won't be necessarily threatened. It'll still be a convincing win for Penrith. I'm going to go Panthers on the scorecard of 22-12. I'm going to go Stephen Crichton anytime try score. And for Parramatta, I've got Sean Lane crossing over. Jesus, hard to stop.
Yeah, he is. Well, I have just like you. I've been back and forth with this all week. I've been. Originally, I had Para to win, and then it came to me. It was 2 days ago. I think I've already told you about this. I think we were on call, and I told you. I think Para can win this, but I have a feeling the amount of people saying they will win it will go to their head. I have a feeling they might choke this.
I think they'll come under pressure because I'm seeing a lot of these tipsters and everything. They're giving Parramatta a lot of credentials right now. I think Penrith will probably be angry and want to be proving a point because I can't see the Panthers losing to them 3 times in the season as well.
I can see tonight going 2 ways, and people might say, "Oh, that's only 2 ways out of the four possible ways that this can go." But I've messaged this to a few people. I see this going 2 ways, and I see this either being Eels 1-12 or Panthers 13 plus. I think in an ideal world, I can see that happening. Yeah, because I think what will happen is if Panthers win if Eels win 1-12, sorry, I think it's because I think it's mainly because the Panthers are like Nathan Cleary, Jerome Luai. They haven't played a few games together since I think it was round 20 or round. Yeah,
I think after that Parry game, I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
probably that Canberra game. Yeah. I think probably that Canberra game. Yeah,
yeah. So, but yeah, it's been quite a while, and I can see them not clicking. But if they do click, that's what I think will be Penrith 13 plus because I can see Para letting all the tips get to their head. Yeah. I mean, they are heavy outsiders on the betting front, which we'll get to shortly. But I mean, it's just I can see them choking this, and I'm sorry, Para fans. They could prove me wrong. Para could win 13 plus. I highly doubt that though, especially at Blue Bet. Speaking of, who
are we barracking for tonight? Who are you going for tonight?
Oh, it's a tough one. I wanted to go for Eels at first, but then I just sort of really want to rub it into my Eels friends. So. I mean, I'll sort of be watching. I think I'll mainly be watching as a mutual and not really going for either team, but just loving the footy. But if it comes down to it, I think I'd probably prefer for Penrith to get the win. But we'll quickly move on to a same game multi I've put together. I'll get your thoughts on this soon. It's Clint Gutherson anytime try scorer, Stephen Crichton anytime try scorer. Total match points under 38.5 with a $20 return. do you like this? If you were a betting man, you're not, but if you were a betting man, would you like this as a? Is this like a juicy odds type bet? Because this, to me, this screams value.
I think in finals as well, I think you're not going to get a lot of points. So I think that's definitely worth taking the line. Yeah, I can see Gutson scoring over. I think Crichton can find the line in these big games, as we've seen before. So yeah, it's juicy odds. I'll be taking it. I'll be taking the points unders as well. Won't be too high scoring. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely, yeah. This is
Especially if you can get 400 back in return as well. So
yeah. Well, first off, gamble responsibly. I'm not telling you to place a bet on this. I'm not even going to place a bet on this. I don't gamble, but if I were to, I'd definitely be looking at this. I reckon this is the way to go. But yeah, I think we'll just have a quick ramble on before we end off. Try and get this to the 20-25 minute mark, and then we'll answer.
For those who are wondering why I'm wearing a South jersey, this is the team I'm going for in the finals. So
yeah. South Sydney fan for finals. But yeah, if you have any questions first, just leave them in the chat. We'll get to them really soon. We'll just quickly end off by rambling on a bit about this game. Is there any specific? I'm trying to find the words to put this in. Could you see this game having a really big effect on the finals? Like, depending on who wins, could you see it having a really big effect on the finals?
I think it's more Parramatta because with Penrith, you already expect them to be there on grand final day. So I think it could take a huge toll on the competition if Parramatta win. Because personally, for me, I'm just going to put it to you like this: if Parramatta lose tonight, I can't see them being there in the grand final. I know it's too early to call it, and they've got a second chance, but I just feel if there are any chance of giving the comp a shake, they got to win this week. And I think beating Penrith, beating them 3 times, knowing that they can beat the big sides like they've already shown before, I think it'll put a huge confidence, especially in the finals.
Yep, definitely. Okay. We'll quickly go to some questions before ending off. This is a bit shorter stream than usual because usually we'll have 3 people. We'll start right at the top with Lachlan saying, "Oh dear, not the jersey." Fraz, would you quickly like to explain again to the people what's with the jersey?
No, I mean, as you guys know, Brisbane, they collapsed. They let us all down once again. So I've got to find out who to back for in the finals, and why not South Sydney? Not a bad shout. Better than wearing a Cows jersey, Lachlan. So can't be complaining, I guess.
Like the proof I have on phone. Anyway, next one: Panthers 1-12 with a To'o double.
I don't think Brian scored out a lot of tries this season. I think he's been out for a while. So
I was actually thinking of putting him in my same game multi that we talked about before, but I don't know. I'm not too sure. I see him. He hasn't been in the best of try scoring form recently.
Also, I want to speak to you since we're talking about Penrith here. What do you think about the Taylor May situation? I think that's something we should cover on.
Actually, definitely. In my opinion, I think he should have been. It's a bit. I sort of go 50-50 with this each time. Like, I feel like he probably should have been fined, and then I feel like he shouldn't have been. Yeah, if he was suspended, if the NRL decided to suspend him for that, then he should have done his time now. But if he wasn't chosen to be suspended, I would have been fine with it. But what about you?
I actually didn't watch the clip till yesterday, and I've got to say, personally, in my opinion, I would have not banned him at all. I think that's worth a fine. He was defending his mate. We don't know the full inside story. I think they should do it. I think the NRL should do a complete investigation before accusing May of something like that. But my problem is that if they're not going to ban him, because that's their choice, I'm not the one making that choice in the end. If they're going to ban him, I just don't get it. Why ban him for the first 2 regular season games? Why not the finals? I know. People complain about the league, giving it to the best teams, favoring the Panthers and all that. And it's hard not to argue with that after seeing this. It's so if Lindsay Collins, who got charged for a hip job, can he miss 4 games next year then?
Yeah, no, that's
Patrick Carrigan. Why can't Carrigan serve the next 4 games next year? Brisbane missed the finals. Exactly. If he played 2 games, maybe they probably play finals. So there needs to be consistency. I just don't get it. It makes me pissed. Imagine Taylor May scores a match-winning try tonight. Parramatta fans will be going off their heads.
Exactly. Bosky says, for us, the Bunny supporter, Yes, for
Yeah,
this final series,
we
it
own
will
your
be.
club, mate. Just remember.
Oh.
Nah, jokes.
Movin Sharma, one of my mates in the Broncos chat, says Penrith to not make the grand final or lose the grand final.
I can see them probably losing in the grand final. I don't know if they'll miss. I think
So,
it's a
so
tough one.
Movin, you're saying that Penrith will not be premiers this year, even if they make
Okay,
it.
let's put it in this scenario. Okay, let's assume Penrith lose tonight and Melbourne go on to win tomorrow. Panther Storm semi-final. Who would you back? Because you can't rule out the Storm, 100%.
I still reckon Penrith win
I
that.
still reckon
Storm,
Penrith win, but it'll be a much close game.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I see Penrith making the grand final this year, whether they win it or not. Actually, I'm not even sure if I see them making it. It could go either way. I think I did the way I
Really?
did my original finals prediction. I think I had Cowboys versus Eels in the grand final.
I Cows Panthers actually.
So I guess we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a bold tip, but I can see it. I can see it playing off. It's got you going. Has it? Noah says Lachlan. Yes, game has me going. I'm really pumped up for it. Not quite in the way you probably expect, but yeah. Moving on. Salmon might come on for Appy, I think, but not Smart in my opinion. I think Appy's an 80-minute player, so
Yeah.
so if
I think
Salmon
that's
does,
the same for Parramatta with Jacob Arthur, and I think Mahoney will play the full 80 minutes. So
I think I thought Kenny would probably come on for Appy if anything, Mitch Kenny. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm not too sure about that.
I don't know how Jermaine will fit tonight, but see how it goes.
Okay. Para to go out in straight sets. So to lose tonight and to lose next
So who
week
would they play
against
next week? Who would they play?
Raiders or Storm?
Would it be a power home game? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
I think fair dinkum. I think both sides could challenge them. Honestly, I don't know if
Yeah.
Raiders could beat them in the finals, but then again, you can't trust Parramatta. But
I mean, Tigers beat them, so.
But I mean, but in a finals game, though, I think Melbourne could step up. But yeah, that's why I'm telling you. I feel much more confident of Parramatta in the prelims. Get a week off, get ready.
Definitely. Harry Rector says Cowboys or Sharks. I'm going to go Cowboys. I mean, I'm going to speak for Lachlan really quickly because he can't be here tonight. He's going Sharks 13 plus. I'm going to go Cowboys 1-12. But we'll talk more in depth about that tomorrow because there will be another preview tomorrow night for Cowboys versus Sharks and for Storm versus Raiders. So just before those games. So keep an eye out for those.
Oh no! Oh no!
So Broncos top 8 next year. Yeah, I have to back us in.
If they play consistent, definitely they can still be a top 6-7 side. But yeah, if they play consistent, why not? No doubt about that.
Hopefully, Rabbitohs get knocked out so we know that they can't handle the big stage without Renault.
Yeah, but Renault's in finals, baby. He's not in finals.
I sort of want Rabbitohs to win first week, but it wouldn't surprise me if they got knocked out.
That was actually my reasoning before, that was actually my reasoning of South's probably not going far in the finals because I think they'll miss the Experience 7, but I don't know. I think they'll definitely give the Roosters a run for their money. I've actually tipped South Sydney as well, so just never know. I don't know if they can go to the grand final, but if they win on Sunday, they can definitely go a step further. But it will be interesting. I think a lot will rely on Latrell on Sunday, whether he has a good game or not.
Speaking of Latrell, Lachlan says Latrell Mitchell banned for finals last year on Manu, and I think that was on the Taylor May incident. Yeah, I mean, you could argue if Latrell was there last year, you could argue that Souths win the grand final.
Yeah, they actually did beat him. They actually did beat Penrith, I think, in the week one
of finals
without Latrell, with Tafe coming in.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think if he could have taken that, I think even Jason Demetria said if he could have taken that last year, that would have been great. But we'll quickly move on. Storm over Panthers, but very close game. Oh, so if Panthers lose, you're going to say Storm. I mean, that is pretty fair. I still reckon Panthers get the job done.
I think with Storm, with all the injuries, it could. There's no guarantee they'll even win tomorrow. There's always a chance of a Canberra upset.
Harry Rector says tips tomorrow. We're going to actually save that for tomorrow's previews. I'm sorry, but we'll see you tune in tomorrow, Harry, and we'll let you know our tips then. Right, I forgot about Kenny. Now I have a clue. I have no clue of what role Salmon plays. I don't even know because Yo plays 80 minutes.
He'll
Abby
be
plays
serving
like
them weak gutted dogs.
I don't know what role he plays, honestly. Same with, I guess the same thing with Taylor and May, like in 2020.
Are they trying to be precautious in case Luai or someone comes off? Like, I just have no clue what Salmon's going to do. Like, is Luai not 100% fit or something? I have no clue. How's this going to work?
It could be because Luai's not 100% fit. It also could be Cleary's match fitness. He hasn't played for a few games.
Yep.
So you never know if they're up by like 12 or 14 with 5 minutes left and know they for sure won the game. They could just bring on someone to make sure Cleary doesn't do anything in the last 5-10 minutes to himself. Harry Rector says Carrigan or Haas. If it's talking about keeping, I'm guessing it's talking about keeping someone because Haas wants more money. I would rather keep Carrigan. I reckon Carrigan's actually a better player as well to answer 2 questions in one.
If you asked me this 2 years ago, I'd probably say Haas because, like, I've even told Noah this before. Like, before the season started, I wasn't much of a fan of Carrigan. I wouldn't care if he left the club, but that's what happens when the team's not going well. It's easy to blame players and all that. But look, I think right now, as we're recording this, I think Carrigan's much more important to the Broncos. He's especially a leader in that middle forward pack. He's consistent, and like his first Origin series, he won the Wally Lewis medalist. I think he sets up a big example, and that's what the Broncos need, some sort of leadership. I think he's got a role there long term. I think he's the better all-round player right now. Haas is consistent, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we're going to get from Haas every week. Carrigan he changes up his game every week, and he's probably one of the best earners in the game right now.
Definitely. I agree there. Lachlan says Sharks 13 plus.
Stop it.
No.
Stop.
And he also says Sharks to pump the Cowgirls. No. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow, and we'll talk about
why
more
are you so confident Sharks are going to win 13 plus? Like, they haven't played anyone good, mate. Like,
Lachlan says, "Gotta go, lads. See you all tomorrow." That was just now. We'll see you tomorrow, Lachlan. You should be on tomorrow for the podcast. Should be on for the previews. And I think this is where we'll wrap it up. I don't think we have much else to talk about. Do you have anything else to add before we end off?
Up the Bunnies.
Up the Bunnies. So he's changed from his usual up the Broncos to up the Bunnies. But we'll end it off there. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. This has been a brilliant stream, in my opinion. It's been great to have all the questions. I guess we'll see you in the next one. We'll be doing a review tomorrow. Lachlan will be back on by then, I'd imagine, unless plans change. Plans always change. I think we'll see you. We'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow for the Cowboys vs Sharks preview and the Storm vs Raiders preview. Cheers for tuning in, and thanks.
Ciao.